Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time you're watching this. It's Andrew from 510 Books, and I am tired and hungry. It is Saturday. What is it? The last day of May, May 31st, Saturday, May 31st, 2025. Can you believe it? June is tomorrow. It'll be almost halfway through the year, which is crazy. I feel that when you have a business, um, I think even more so when you have a retail business, but I could be wrong. It just feels that way. But when you have a business, it feels like things go by fast because you're kind of like paying attention week by week. I know for me, having a store, I have to plan it out each week, the new inventory. I have to create the newsletter, the social media posts, keep it organized, all that kind of stuff, right? All the planning that goes into it, the thought. With eBay, it's about sourcing, listing, shipping, sourcing, listing, shipping, right? That's what you do. But you keep track of how you're doing weekly, how you're doing monthly, that kind of thing, and it just feels like it's going by really fast. Don't mind if I sound a little dazed. I'm definitely very hungry. It's like 5:45, something like that. It's exactly 5:40. So I went back and looked at, because it's the end of May, very last day of May. I went back and looked at the last 4 weeks of May. There was a half of a week in the first. The first week was half of the first week was May. But I looked at the other 4 weeks, and my sales were better in my store. I'm talking about not eBay. I'm talking about here in my retail store. My sales were better this in May than they were in April. Why? I don't know. I'm not sure, but they were definitely much better. It got better almost week by week. So the first week was good, and the second week went down a little bit, and then it went up the third week, and up again the fourth week, which was this week. This week, the fourth week was the most. I had a lot of people show up, a good amount of people. I don't mean a ton, but a good amount of people for me on Memorial Day. Go figure, right? But overall, also looking at the number of sales. So the first week I had 35 sales. I had the most individual sales the first week, but that was the third most profitable week. And then I had only 24 sales the second week, and then it was 33 sales the third and the fourth week. So, obviously, if you get less sales, like the second week, you're going to get, less. If you get less individual sales, you're going to have a smaller gross amount, unless somebody spent, a couple people spent a ton of money, which has happened. It's happened multiple times, many times, where someone comes in and they spend $250, $300, $400, and then that skews the numbers a bit, right? But nonetheless, overall, if I get 24 sales in a day, in a week, not in a day, and that might sound low, but that's fine. Some of you might be thinking like, oh my God, in a whole week, that's nothing. You should get that in like half a day. Well, it's not super busy, but it's good numbers. The gross sales are good. And more than, it's a profitable store. And based on the location I am, that's pretty darn good. I built up a great repeat customer base. I continue to find new people each week, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to do the dollar sale. Now I'm going to do it in July, not the end of June, for a reason that I'll mention. But when I do that, I'll push to get a lot more people in the door so I can convert some of them. Even if I get like 10 new repeat customers, that would be awesome. It's really just about building that momentum, getting those. That sounds kind of cheesy, building the momentum, but I guess what I mean more is building up a customer base, a loyal customer base that's going to show up consistently, if not every week, at least a couple times a month. The most consistent customers come in every single week, and those are the best, of course, because they're always looking for new media, looking for books, that kind of thing. The other thing is this week, this is just this week, not the entire month. So this week I had the number one category for me was DVDs. I sold something like over 70. Is that what it was? Something like that. Yeah, 70 DVDs, and then books and CDs were around 40, and then it was vinyl was next, and then VHS tapes. So DVDs have been doing really well. I was surprised to see books doing so well. Usually it's CDs that takes second spot, but this time books did. So that's really good to see that I'm selling more books, because even though my store is 510 books, I've always sold more CDs, more records, more movies, Blu-rays and DVDs. So it's good to see that for sure, because I know there's lots of people that want books, that are always reading, looking for physical books, and it's just a matter of finding them and then coming back with regularity. So that's really good news for sure. I know there's people out there that, I've seen all kinds of local bookstores throughout the country that do really well because there is a demand for it. There are people that are reading multiple books a week, that are constantly looking for new books. So it's just about finding those people, right, that are either collecting them or are reading through books so fast that they need new books on a weekly basis, basically. And the same applies to other types of media as well. But yeah, I got a bunch of new media in that I've sorted out over here that's going to go into future weeks, future sales. I got a bunch of DVDs, some 4K, Blu-ray, video games, VHS, some really good stuff over there for future weeks. And then I continue the process of cutting up boxes, but I unfortunately forgot to restock my tape supply here. I have a ton of tape in my second location, and I just didn't remember to bring more tape here. So unfortunately, I ran out, and I wasn't able to continue cutting up the boxes. But I did put away a lot of, sort of organizing the fiction. Went through a bunch of the books that I had here, and I put aside the fiction into boxes. And just preparing, because I'm now 6 weeks away from doing the dollar sale instead of 4, so a little more time. But I'm going to be separating the fiction books. Nothing crazy, just separating the fiction, the kids' books, and the nonfiction books. All the nonfiction will just be mixed together. I don't think I have like big categories or anything. It'll just be kind of mixed, unless there's something that's obvious. I actually do have a fair amount of religious books, so I might have like a box or two of just religious. But for the most part, it's nothing too crazy. Just so that when people come, they can find stuff quicker. If someone's only looking for fiction, they can just go to the fiction, and vice versa, and that type of thing. And of course, I already set aside over there on the pallet. I already have the CDs ready, separate, the DVDs separate, and the audiobooks separate. And I'm even going to put out some vinyl because I started going through the last unsorted inventory that I had was the vinyl back here, the purchase that I made earlier in the month, about 3.5 weeks ago. Went through 2 boxes. I still have 2 more boxes to go, which is why you see all this vinyl over here. I've already sorted through some of it. This one's a pretty cool cover. It doesn't go for much money on eBay, but it does sell pretty regularly, and I think it's because of the cover. It's got Cary Grant and Audrey Hepburn. It looks kind of like a 007 image, but it's a cool cover. Anyway, so started sorting that out. I found these 2, Rubinstein / Chopin, not sure. I'm listed on eBay. And then this one is the Electrifying Johnny Cash. There's 4 of his records in here in a box set, in the set. Those 2 I'm going to list. These are cool picture discs from, I think, the 50s, I believe, 50s or 60s, that I'll probably put in a lot that somebody would probably use as decoration. I mean, that'd be pretty cool decoration. It actually would probably look good in the store here. If I had the wherewithal and all that fun stuff, man, I should have someone just decorate my store, to be honest. But I think these would look cool. I also just don't like tons of clutter. Like I see, some people's bookstores or some people's music stores, and they've got so much stuff on the walls. Posters and album covers and all kinds of stuff. And great for them to have some, but some of them it just looks like wallpaper. And it's, my opinion anyway, it can be a little bit too much for me. But anyway, so that's stuff I found. I still have another 2 boxes to go through, and then that'll be everything that I have for new inventory. I'm gonna continue to work on the rest of cutting up the boxes, getting them getting them ready to organize all the books, because I got the whole pallet out there that's still got lots of books on it, and so I'm just going to organize them and put them into these smaller boxes, which will be easier for people to access and easier for me to keep them organized on the pallet once I have them in those boxes. And I'll be done with that way before I have the event. And then as I continue to get inventory over the next 6 weeks, which I definitely will, and there will be inventory that I'm not going to put in my store, I will continue to add to it, and it should be a lot of inventory. The reason why I decided to push it back is because if you've seen in the parking lot out front of where I am located, or in the parking spaces, there are 4 shipping containers, and none of them should be there. So there's one right here, and then there's 4 more. There's 2 way at the end, and there's just one right here. So none of those should be there. Actually, that truck, not this first one, but the other one way down there is also going to be moved. So I didn't want these in the way, because they're going to be in the way of parking and setting up, especially this one, especially that one. The other one down there too, but definitely in the way for parking, because if I do end up getting a lot of people to show up to the sale, I want to have as many parking spaces available. And the idea is to use part of the parking lot to set up tables, tents, that kind of thing, for all the inventory, and to keep it, to one area. I'll figure it out. Luckily, no one's here on Saturday, typically, so I usually have it to myself. The other tenants aren't usually here, and plus that's during July, but we'll see. And then so people need to have space to park, and need to have space to put the inventory, the tables, and all that stuff. And so the shipping containers are not going to do it. So that's the thought process behind it. I already started getting together the digital poster I'm going to use to put on my social media and my newsletter. Well, I don't know if I'll put it in a newsletter. Maybe I will. Probably. I haven't gotten that far. But yeah, I'm putting that together, and then I'll put together an actual flyer that I'm going to have put around in different coffee shops in the area, and just pass it around to different areas. See how much of an impact that can make. Some coffee shops and other places will have little bulletin board, little like pin push boards, and you can put your flyer or your business, whatever, up there, and that can be a good way to get some new people, because there is a very popular retail area just about, less than a mile from me, east. Extremely popular and extremely expensive to lease a space. If I was there, my store would be constantly packed with people, period. However, we're talking like 5 times what I'm paying here for the size that I have. And if I had a bigger one, it'd be even more. So very expensive, but lots of people. So a lot of people go over there and they get their coffee and they eat food and they walk around and they have ice cream, and they go into little niche stores and clothing stores and sandal stores and all kinds of stuff. And they don't know about where I am over here. So getting a lot of those people to find me is going to be good. So anyway, this is turning into a long video, but I'm going to go eat, and I appreciate you guys watching. I never ask. I should, right? Definitely subscribe to the channel if you're not. I appreciate it. Everyone that watches. I'll see you next video. Take care.